Yes, good morning, students.
Good morning, sir.
My voice is audible.
Yes, sir.
1 minute, Arish. Again, I will share the screen. Now, PPT is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, PPT is visible.
Yes, sir.
Harish.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yes. So, last class, what we discussed? We discussed about balancing. What do you mean by balancing? Balancing is a technique or a process of correcting or eliminating unwanted inertial forces. Unwanted inertial forces. As you know, the inertial forces are nothing but that is the forces which are present in any quantity, any object, means in terms of mass. Right? Inertia is a property of a mass. It resists to change its state. Right? Unwanted inertial forces that are present in a body, then you go for eliminate that unwanted inertial forces or correct that unwanted inertial forces or movements. That process we call as a balancing. It may be a rotating components or reciprocating components. And also you can see that a rotor which is mounted on a shaft, how unwanted inertial forces are generated due to that eccentricity. The CG of the rotor is not coincide with the CG or not coincide with the axis of the shaft. That produces, when shaft rotates, that produces a centrifugal force, a force which acts radially outward. What its magnitude here? Mr omega square or Me omega square. Right now, again we discussed about what is static balancing and dynamic balancing. Static balancing means whether the body is under rest position or in the body is under continuous motion, but the vector sum of all the forces acting on a body is equal to 0. When it is static balancing occurred here, the for example you take in the previous case, in the rotor here, the whatever the siege of the rotor is coincide with the axis of the shaft or axis of the shaft, whether the rotor is under rest condition or continuous motion, the that system become a balance. That one is static balancing. Now remember that vector sum of all the force equal to 0. Then go for dynamic balancing. In static balancing, whatever, if you draw several masses are there on the shaft, if you consider here, then how do you make it balancing here? If you draw a force polygon, there is no resultant force polygon exists, then you can say the rotating masses are in the static balancing. Then go for dynamic balancing means if consider a masses are located here at a different plane, different location, right, with respect to one mass to the another mass that have some distance L, then what will come to your picture here? The couple will form here. Then you go for balance, dynamic balancing. That should satisfy the two condition. One is vector sum of all the force equal to 0. Second one is vector sum of all the moments or couple about an arbitrary point is equal to 0. That is called condition for dynamic balancing. And last class we have gave the best example for the alignment of wheels, the car wheels or even bike wheel also. So you can see the static balancing. If you make a if statically unbalanced here car wheel, what happens? The car wheel moves in up and down direction, right? If it is a dynamic imbalance here, the car wheel moves in a twisting, is a rake angle. It is a twisting in this, right? That is what we call as oval or wheel shimmy. Side to side movement of the car wheel. You can see the dynamic imbalance here. Static imbalancing means the car wheel moves in up and down direction. Then how do you make it correction? How do you make it balance here? By adding a counter mass or balancing mass to the wheel. That is a wheel weight here. We'll go for add a counter masses. Then we discussed about balancing of rotating masses. Okay. Yeah, so whenever disturbed mass is there, if you go for balance here, the disturbed mass produces a force which acts radially outward. This is a centrifugal force. Its magnitude is mr omega square. In order to make it balance, one more mass, counter mass or balancing mass, which is attached opposite to the disturbed mass. that produces another centrifugal force that make it is equal to each other and opposite in nature, that make it balanced here or make it equilibrium. Right, again we have discussed about four cases for rotating balancing of rotating masses. You can see the four conditions or cases. One is if you consider a single rotating mass, the balancing of single rotating mass, how do you make it balance? By taking a single mass rotating in the same plane. Second one, the balancing of single rotating mass by two masses rotating in different planes. Best example, what second cases here, we can give the best example here. Take a bicycle pedal. If you take a bicycle pedal, only one pedal is there, that becomes an imbalance here. Then what we'll do, at the same shaft, we'll mount one more pedal on the another side. Then it become a balanced one, right? That's the best example for a balancing of single rotating mass by two masses rotating in different planes. There are again two conditions will come here, whether the disturbing mass lies in between the counter masses, balancing the masses, or the disturbing mass lies either left or right side of the counter masses or balancing masses. Next, in third case, balancing of several masses rotating in same plane. There is a best example. You can take a ceiling fan or in a gained wheel, right? Or take any rotating components. For example, take a car wheel tire or buses or lorry tires. The rim is attached to the axle. There is a consider a masses of the bolts. All the masses are located in the same plane. There is a balancing of several masses rotating in same plane. Balancing of several masses rotating in different plane. Again, if you consider a rear axle of tire of buses and lorries, on each side the axle two tires are mounted. For one mass, one tire recorded as a one mass here. Another tire you take another mass. Then the two tires are located in two different plane, parallel plane. Our best example, take multi-stage turbines, compressors. Okay, those are the best example for balancing of several masses rotating in different planes. Those things we discussed, and also these are some applications. And how do you make it balance? For a single balancing of single rotating masses by considering a single mass rotating in the same plane. The condition should be by applying a static force equilibrium condition or static balancing condition. Vector sum of all the force equal to 0. Now we'll get this condition, M1 R1 is equal to MC RC. As you know that the disturbed mass, this quantity and radius of rotation, we know that for a given radius of rotation you can determine what will be the mass of the counter masses or balancing masses. Similarly, for second case also we determine the balancing of single rotating mass by two masses rotating in different planes. Whether disturbed mass is located in between two balancing mass, or second case is the disturbed mass it lies at the left side of the counter masses or on right side of the counter masses. You'll get the same equation, except that static balancing, that condition changes. And also we discussed balancing of several masses rotating in the same plane, right? So consider a ceiling fan. The blades of ceiling fan is rotate about that axis. The each blade having a mass m1, m2, m3. If we consider a four blades here, four masses here at radius of rotation, where CG acts of the blade, that gives a radius of rotation and its orientation, right? Then balancing of several masses rotating in same plane. Then how do you go for balance here? One is analytical method, another one is graphical method. In analytical method, first find out centrifugal force or the product of mass and radius. Here when you go for calculation, the uniform angular velocity, that is omega or omega square, will not take into consideration for calculation, because that cancel left side term, left side equation is equal to right side equation, that omega square will cancel out. To make it complicated for the calculation, we'll go for neglect that term. First, you go for determine the centrifugal force or product of mass and its radius of rotation. Then resolve each centrifugal force horizontally and vertically. As you know that, how do you resolve all the force in horizontally? But consider a mass 1 here for balancing several masses rotating in the same plane. Consider mass 1. A centrifugal force acts radially outward along that radial direction, that is Fc1. What its magnitude here? m1 r1 omega square. Now at an angle here with respect to x-axis, that angular position is theta 1. Then resolve that component into two components. One is horizontal, another one is vertical. For horizontal, cos theta 1, the trigonometry term will come. For horizontal vertical, sin theta 1 will come. Right? This is how we resolve the force, centrifugal force into two components. One is horizontal, other one is vertical. Then we'll go for resolve the centrifugal force horizontally and vertically. In general, for all the masses, vector sum of all the force acting in horizontal direction is equal to summation of mi ri cos theta I, where I is very small 1 to n masses, number of masses. Now we'll go for split into that, expand that equation m1 r1 cos theta 1 into n masses. Similarly, resolve the component, the centrifugal force into vertical component. The sum of vertical components of the centrifugal force, sum of vertical component of the centrifugal force, that is the vector sum of all the force acting in vertical direction is equal to summation of mi ri sin theta I, where I is very small 1 to number of masses, and then expand it. There is a second steps in analytical method. Third step, determine the magnitude of resultant centrifugal force or counter force or balanced force. As you know that Fc is equal to mc rc, that is equal to square root of summation of fs square plus summation of fv square. That is by applying a Pythagoras theorem. Okay, fc square is equal to this one. Then take the square term to the right side, it becomes square root here. Then for a given value of Rc, we can easily find what will be the counter mass, the quantity of the counter mass mc. That is the third step. Now fourth step, then determine the angular position of the counter mass, the orientation of the counter mass by taking tan theta is equal to opposite by adjacent, or vertical component divided by horizontal component. Right? Then how do you assign that angle? By taking the by taking allied angle. First quadrant all are positive, second quadrant only sin theta and cosecant theta are positive, third quadrant tan and cot are positive, in fourth quadrant cos and secants are positive. Remember that sign convention for the angular orientation. Right? Then that is a analytical method. Those 5 steps you should remember for analytical method for balancing of several masses rotating in same plane. Next one, graphical method. When you go for graphical method, first you go for draw a space diagram of the each position of the several masses. Means don't bother about the mass and radius of rotation, the length and its quantity. Be careful about the angular position. Second one, then go for construct the table. In the table, you can see the some masses, serial number, this mass in kg, radius of rotation, then product of mass and then third one, fourth column is orientation, angular position. Then fourth one is the centrifugal force divided by omega square. I think this table you should remember. Serial number, mass is in kg, radius of rotation meter, orientation with respect to x-axis, orientation of the masses with respect to x-axis, then centrifugal force divided by omega square. That is centrifugal force is mr omega square divided by omega square get cancelled. We'll get it kg meter. Right, first you go for for graphical method. First you draw the space diagram, second you go for construct a table, then you go for draw the vector diagram or force polygon. Okay, by taking the length of the line shows the magnitude of m into r, the arrow mark shows the direction of the centrifugal force acting on the produced by the masses. Then you go for, if it is force polygon is completed one, it is no, there is no resultant forces exit here. I mean there is no resultant couple. Sorry, resultant counter mass is required. If it is the force polygon is not completed one, whatever the gap is there, then you go for join those to the initial the point to the final point. Then if you join that line, then you will get the length of the line shows the counter masses quantity mc rc value you get, the resultant centrifugal you get. Then for a given value of rc, then you calculate mc value. In the last class we solved this problem. The 4 masses are located These are the quantities m1, m2, m3, and 4. And radius of rotation also we know that. With respect to x-axis, the orientation also we know that. Then we go for multiply m into r. Then we get centrifugal force divided by omega square. Now you given for a RC value is given 0.2 meter. Then our aim is to determine theta c and mc, means counter mass orientation and the quantity of counter mass. So analytical method we solved here, right? Now today we'll go for discuss graphical method, and also very important one, the graphical method. Now for graphical method also we require this table. Okay, we require to construct the table. That is the important one. Serial number, how many masses are there? Then what are its quantities? Mass is in kg, radius of rotation in meter, and orientation of the mass with respect to x-axis, the angular position, and then centrifugal force divided by omega square, that is kg meter. Once you construct the table, then go for take the scale. What is the scale you have chosen here? See the centrifugal force by omega square, it is 40 kg meter, 45, 60, 60, 78. If you take 1 is to 1, is not possible. Then you go for, because 40 kg meter is equal to 40 centimeter become 1 is to 1 if you take. Then you go for reduced scale. What is a reduced scale? See that the scale what we have chosen here, 10 kg meter per, so 10 kg meter is equal to 1 centimeter. 10 kg meter is equal to 1 centimeter. Now you draw the force polygon according to the serial number of that masses. What we constructed the table, same in the order you should go. You should draw the force polygon. Now for 40 kg meter is equal to what? 40, so 40 kg meter is nothing but what? 4 centimeter, right? 4 centimeter. First we go for draw a horizontal line and vertical line. The intersection of horizontal and vertical line, that we point, will name it as ORA. After that, so now the first mass here, the first mass, what is centrifugal force here? 40 kg meter converted into 40 kg meter is equal to how much centimeter here? 4 centimeter. Now here positive value it is. For positive value means draw a line. What is the orientation here? 0 degree, right? From the intersection of the xy line, draw a line, horizontal line, 0 degree line. Along that line, how much you are going to measure here? 40 kg meter means 10 kg meter is equal to 1 centimeter. 40 kg meter is equal to how much? 4 centimeter. Along that 0 degree line, a measure from the, this is the horizon, then along the horizontal line, a measure a 4 centimeter. That length of the line shows the magnitude of M1 R1, right? Okay, that what is the arrow mark here? Now how do we get arrow mark? By seeing the space diagram, we can see that we are traveling here in this towards the right direction, positive x direction, right? The first one over. Next, after that, second, this is the tip of the vector, right? This is the tip, so starting point of the vector. This is the end point of the vector for M1 and R1. After that, what is the next mass here? Second mass. What it's the second mass, go for this one. What is the orientation here with respect to x-axis? It is 45 degree. Now from the point B with respect to horizontal line, measure how much here? 45 degree line. Draw a 45 degree line. Draw a 45 degree line. Along the 45 degree line, what its magnitude here? 45 kg meter means convert into scale 4.5 centimeter. So through the scale or through the compass, measure a 4.5 centimeter on the 45 degree line. Now we'll get the point C. The length of the BC line shows M2 R2. How much here? 45 kg meter. And what is the arrow mark here? The B to C. You are moving in B to C upward. Or you can see in the space diagram here. This, what is the space diagram? You can see the space diagram also. The centrifugal force here acting where? It moves radially outward. From mass 1 here moves here. Mass 2 it moves like this, radially outward. Right? Yes. Now once you draw this, okay, once you get point C, next after the first one mass over, second over, what is the next one? Third mass. For third mass, what is the orientation with respect to x-axis here? 120 degree. With respect to x-axis, with respect to horizontal line, measure a 120 degree line through the protractor. Measure 120 degree and then draw a 120 degree line. Along the 120 degree line, what will be the magnitude here? 60 kg meter. Convert into scale means 6 centimeter. Along the 120 degree line, measure 6 centimeter. Now we'll get this point D. Now CD shows what? M3 R3, that is 60 kg meter. And we are moving in what direction here? The centrifugal force act radially outward, right? Now once you get point D, the third one over. Next, what is the fourth mass here? Fourth mass, its orientation with respect to x-axis how much? 255 degree and magnitude is 78 kg meter. Again, you draw a horizontal line here with respect to horizontal line. Measure how much angle? 255 degree. 255 degree you measure in counterclockwise direction. Then draw a 250 degree line that is passing from the point D. Along that line, what will be the length of the line? 78 kg meter means 7.8 centimeter. Along this 255 degree line, measure 7.8 centimeter. Now we'll get the point E. That is the length of the line shows M4 R4 and arrow mark shows is a centrifugal force act radially outward. See, then the space diagram come to know it moves radially outward as a downward direction. Now we'll get, once you complete M1 R1 over, M2 R2 over, then M3 R3 also over, M4 R4 also. Means the force polygon is not a closed one, means it become an unbalanced one. Then how do you make it balance? Now we'll go for the resultant force polygon should be, there is no resultant force polygon, means then I want to go for join the point E and A, the starting point of that force polygon. Join E and A. Now that gives the length of the line shows EA shows what? MC RC magnitude. MC RC magnitude. Then with respect to horizontal line, with respect to x-axis, measure theta C in counterclockwise direction. That shows the orientation. Now see that the AE line shows MCRC. There's a resultant centrifugal force, resultant centrifugal force MCRC. How much you'll get? 2.3 centimeter. You know that 1 centimeter is equal to how much kg meter? 10 kg meter. 1 centimeter is equal to 10 kg meter. Now we'll get how much? 23 kg meter. That is MCRC. Now the RC value is given. What is RC value is? 0.2 meter is given. Now finally what is MC? MC will get 115 kg. 115 kg. Similarly, now with respect to horizontal line from point E with respect to x-axis or horizontal line, measure theta C. Theta C, how much you will get here? 203 degree. 203 degree. Now how do you say our answer is right or wrong? Go for check in analytical method. In analytical method, what is the MC value? 115.95 kg. But in graphical method, we'll get 115 kg. Some error in the graphical method, manual errors are there. In analytical method, what is theta C? 201.34 degree. But in graphical method, you'll get 203 degree. Plus or minus 5% error should be there in graphical method. In analytical method, we'll get exact answer because we use exact formulas we use. But in graphical method, manual errors are there or instrumental errors are there. That's why we will accept plus or minus 5% error we can accept here. Now this is how you solve the problem balancing of several masses rotating in the same plane. Now you transfer this MCRC into the space diagram. That MCRC you can transfer in the space diagram. See that. Now where is MCRC with respect to the OX line with respect to x-axis? Measure theta C 203 degree. from the draw a 203-degree line, theta c value. Then along that, you show the MC RC. Means it acts, centrifugal force act where? Radially outward. Right? Radially outward. This is how you solve the problem when the several masses are rotating in the same plane. First we go for analytical method, second we'll go for graphical method. Yes, if you have any doubt, you can clarify your doubts. Yes, any doubts are there regarding this problem? Now try to
Yes,
use
sir.
that square. Yes, yes, tell me, ma.
Sir, theta values.
Oh.
In question, it is there.
Yeah, in question, yeah, okay, 1 minute. Yeah, in question, the theta values are given. See that the angle between successive masses 45 degrees, 75 degree, and 135 degree. What are the successive masses? Nothing but what? So now, first you assume that the mass 1 is located in horizontal, along the x-axis. Second mass with respect to first mass, how much here? 45 degree. Now third mass with respect to second mass is given 75 degree. Now fourth mass with respect to third mass is given how much? I think 135 degree. That is nothing but successive, the angle between the successive masses. But we consider in the table, what we consider here, always you go for take the angular position with respect to horizontal line or OX line. So for OX line, first mass is on what is the angle? Angular position is 0 degree. Second mass it is 45 degree, right? Third mass with respect to horizontal line. Now this is included here how much? The successive mass angle is given how much? 75 degree, right? Now with respect to x-axis, 45 plus 75, how much you will get? 120 degree, is it right? Next, from mass 3 to mass 4 is given. How much angle is given? 125 degree is given, right? Oh, sorry, 135 degree is given. Am I right? 135. Now with respect to horizontal line, 135 plus 75 plus 45. If you add it, we'll get 255 degree. Yes, your doubt is clear?
Yes, sir.
No. Yes. Any other doubts? If you have, you can clarify now itself. Yes. Any other questions regarding this problem? You can expect this question or
Sir,
yeah. Yes. Tell me, ma'am.
sir, in graphical method,
Huh.
you told that theta c is 203 degree, no, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
How, sir, we'll get MC as 115 kGa.
Okay. So how do you get?
Then how to find out?
Yes. Yes. Tell me. First, you clarify your doubts. Okay. What's your doubt? First, clearly you tell me, ma'am. I think this.
Sir, in graphical method.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes. Tell me. What's your question?
sir, ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ theta c ಹೆಂಗ್ ಸರ್ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯೋದು
Okay.
ಗ್ರಾಫಿಕಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ?
Okay, once you, okay, 9 minutes time is there. Once session is ended, again rejoin the session, okay? Yeah, how do you determine theta c? That's your question, right? Okay, now see that up to
Yes,
E,
sir.
you can draw with respect to the force polygon from these values. Okay, you can draw the
Yes,
force
sir.
polygon up to point E, right? Now we'll go for join point E to the starting point of the vector. What is the starting point of the vector? This is a horizon, right? The point is the starting point of the vector. We draw the force polygon, right? Now this is the ending point of the force polygon. Then join the end point of the force polygon and starting point of the force polygon. That shows AE line, right? Or EA line. Now I want to measure the angle
sir.
EA line with respect to what? OX or AX line. With respect to horizontal, you measure here. If you measure this with respect to horizontal line, now we'll get theta c, counter mass. The orientation of the counter plane, it is counter plane. Yes, the measured EA is equal to, or AE is equal to what? The centrifugal resultant centrifugal force or resultant counter force. Omega square, don't include the omega square here in calculation. That is MCRC only you take. MCRC, how much you get? AE value you get 2.3 centimeter. As you know, the 1 centimeter is equal to 10 kg meter. Now substitute. RC value is given. RC value is how much is given? 0.2 meter is given. In the problem itself given RC value. Then you calculate, is substitute that value. Now we'll get MC value is 115 kg. I think this is your doubt. I think you clarified your doubt. Is it your doubt?
ನೋ ಸರ್ ನನಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟೀಟಾ ಸಿ 203 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಗ್ರಾಫಿಕಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ.
ಹೌದು. ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂತು ಅಂತನಾ?
ಇದು ಅನಲಿಟಿಕ್
ಹಿಂಗಿದೆ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಹಾರಿಜಾಂಟಲ್. ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಹಾರಿಜಾಂಟಲ್ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಿಂಗೆ. ಇದು 180 ಡಿಗ್ರಿನಾ? From here to here it is 180 degree napa.
Yes,
then
sir.
the remaining angle here measured here through the protractor you measure
sir.
here. 180 plus almost 23 you will get here. This value you will get 23. Now 180 plus 23 you will get 203. Correct? Doubts clear ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ?
Yes, sir.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ಕೇಳಿ, ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. Always you measure the angle with respect to horizontal line. So how do you draw BC line with respect to horizontal? How do you draw CD line? Again with respect to horizontal line only. With respect to horizontal line only, we will draw the CD line, the angular position. There is a 120 degree. 255 degree. How do you draw here? For 4 mass with respect to horizontal line only. Okay. That's why better you go for draw a space diagram in left side. Right side you go for write the force polygon. Then only you can easy to draw the parallel lines. See here, 1 minute. That's the use of set square, very, very important. Just for your reference, I'm showing this one. See that. Yeah, see that. If you have a space diagram here, for horizontal line, say M1 R1, M1 R1, omega 1, omega square, just act radially outward in along the x direction, right? Now for second mass, just draw a line which is parallel to, yeah. Now second line which is BC. How do you draw BC line which is parallel to second mass orientation θ2? For third one, how do you draw this? See the third one, this is parallel to this one. That's why always you draw a space diagram left side. On right side, better you go for draw force polygon. Or in the sheet itself, in the A4 sheet itself, if you have a space diagram in the top portion, means in the top portion of the sheet, means below that only space diagram, you go for draw the force polygon in the same sheet. Then you can easily draw the parallel lines, right? Any other doubts?
Sir,
Ah.
sir, in force polygon AE distance, sir, after drawing, after joining CD, sir,
Okay.
D to E distance, 7.8 centimeter, no, sir?
Yeah, 7.8, D to E.
After drawing that, we should join AE, no, sir?
Yes, yes, yes.
Sir, after joining, we should measure how much it is, no, sir?
Yes, that's right one.
That value is 2.3, sir.
Yeah, yes. If you measure AE through the
Sir,
scale.
why did you multiply that 10 kg?
Here, whatever the scale you have taken here, 10 kg meter is equal to what? 1 centimeter. If you want to draw the force polygon, CF divided by omega square. Okay. So here you'll get in terms of centimeter. MC RC value you'll get in terms of centimeter. Now we'll go multiply the scale. 1 centimeter is equal to how many kg meter? 10 kg meter. That's why we'll multiply here the scale value. Then only you get the unit in 23 kg meter.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Next, any other doubts? Yes, if you have doubts, so please ask the doubts and clarify your doubts. Okay, so two things are there. When you understood thoroughly means no doubts. 100% you understood, no doubts. Second one, nothing you understood means also no doubts. If you are in between these two means you will get the so many questions, so many doubts will arise.
MC value, sir.
Sorry,
Sir, MC value I will get 115.
115. You know that A is equal to what? MCRC. That is equal to measure the distance AE 2.3 centimeter, multiply the scale. Now RC value is given, right? RC value is how much? 0.2 meter. Now substitute RC value. Then you go for calculate 23 divided by 0.2. We will get 115 kg. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other doubts? Okay, shall I go for next problem?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now similarly go for take one more problem. Take this as an assignment problem. Better write down 4 masses A, B, C and D are attached to a shaft and revolve in the same plane. The masses are 12 kg, 10 kg, 18 kg and 15 kg respectively. And radii of rotation are 40 mm, 50 mm, 60 mm and 30 mm. Okay, is it 30 or 80? 80 mm I think. The angular position of the masses B, C and D are 60 degree, 135 degree, 270 degree. Now see that the angular position of masses B, C and D are 60 degree, 135 degree, 270 degree from the mass A. Means is given directly with respect to mass A. Earlier problem is given successive mass, one after the another masses. But here given with respect to the mass A itself given, means theta A is equal to 0, theta B, theta C, theta D directly is given with respect to horizontal line. Find the magnitude and position of the balancing mass at radius of 100 mm. Right? Now take this as a second assignment problem. You can try to solve both analytical method and graphical method and send to my WhatsApp number. And one more, what we can see in WhatsApp. Okay, so many students are tried for solve the problem. Okay, they are not use the set square. That's the problem. Okay, use the set square, then only you get the parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Right? Okay, less than 1 minute is there. Now maybe session will end at here. Now again we'll rejoin the session. We'll go for the fourth case. Okay? Yes. Now we'll wait for another session. Okay? Once session is ended, again you should rejoin the session. Less than 1 minute time is there. Now take down, copy this question and try to solve it and send to my WhatsApp number.